Most people look up at the sky and wonder. You look up and know exactly what it costs. Not in money, in years, in silence, in sacrifice. This is your life at every rank inside NASA's Astronaut Corps, and by the end, you'll understand why some of them never come back the same. Level 1. Astronaut Candidate. You don't start in space. You start in a fluorescent-lit office in Houston, Texas, Building 4 South, Johnson Space Center. You are one of 18 people selected from 18,000 applicants. 18 out of 18,000. That number follows you everywhere. You are called an ASCAN, Astronaut Candidate. It sounds impressive at dinner parties. It means nothing inside that building. You spend your first weeks doing paperwork, medical evaluations, psychological screenings, background checks that go back 20 years. They want to know everything. Your debt, your relationships, the time you broke your arm at 14. Nothing is too small. Nothing is private anymore. Your salary starts around $66,000 a year. For someone who just beat 18,000 people, that number stings a little. You don't say that out loud. You learn Russian. Not because you want to, because the Soyuz capsule is Russian. The backup systems are Russian. If something goes wrong 200 miles above Earth, the person trying to save your life might only speak Russian. You learn it anyway. You run. You swim. You sit in classrooms for 8 hours a day studying orbital mechanics and spacecraft systems and the specific way pressure suits seal against vacuum. You learn what vacuum does to an unsealed human body. You try not to think about it too much. 2 years. That's how long the candidate program lasts. 2 years before you find out if you actually become an astronaut. You sleep. You wake up. You study. You don't complain. Level 2. Astronaut. 2 years pass. You graduate. NASA pins a silver pin on your chest. A simple silver shooting star. You are now officially an astronaut. Not assigned to a mission. Not going anywhere yet. But the title is real. You move into the Corps, the community, the strange, quiet brotherhood and sisterhood of people who have all beaten the same impossible odds just to be in the same room together. Your job now is to support. You take shifts in mission control. You sit in a chair at a console and monitor active missions and relay information and answer questions from crews already in space. You talk to people floating above the planet. You are not one of them yet. You do T-38 jet training. You fly NASA's training jets over the Texas flatlands at 500 miles per hour, and you feel something shift inside you. You understand now why pilots are different. Speed changes your relationship with fear. You train in the Neutral Buoyancy Lab, a 6 million-gallon pool in Houston, where a full-scale replica of the International Space Station sits underwater, and you spend 6 hours in a pressurized suit moving in slow motion, simulating repairs, practicing the exact choreography of a spacewalk you may or may not ever perform. 6 hours underwater for every 1 hour of actual spacewalk. You don't ask when your mission assignment is coming. You wait. Some astronauts wait 3 years. Some wait 7. Some never fly. You wait. Level 3. Support Crew and Capcom. You get your first real responsibility. Capcom, Capsule Communicator. The only person in mission control authorized to speak directly to the crew in space. That protocol exists because of a reason. In the early days, too many voices, too much noise during emergencies. Now, there is one voice, yours. You sit at the console and you are the bridge between Earth and orbit, between the engineers and the astronauts, between the problem and the people living inside it. An alarm triggers on the ISS one Tuesday morning. A pressure sensor reading drops in one of the modules. The crew is awake, calm, waiting. You are the one who speaks. Your voice cannot shake. It doesn't. The sensor turns out to be a false reading, equipment glitch. But for 11 minutes, nobody knew that. For 11 minutes, you were talking people through the possibility of a real hull breach. You go home that evening and you sit in your car in the driveway for a long time. You don't tell your family what happened, because they'd worry, and worrying doesn't help anyone. Level 4. Mission Assignment. The call comes on a Wednesday. Not a dramatic announcement, not a ceremony. Your flight director pulls you aside after a morning briefing. You're on the next rotation. 6 words. 6 words and your entire nervous system rewires itself in about 4 seconds. You are assigned to a crew of 4, an international team. 1 NASA commander, 1 NASA mission specialist, 1 ESA astronaut, 1 JAXA astronaut. You begin mission-specific training immediately. 18 months of preparation for a 6-month stay on the International Space Station. You train for every failure scenario: fire, depressurization, medical emergency, power loss, debris strike. You don't just learn what to do. You learn it until your hands can do it without your brain. Because in an actual emergency, your brain will be busy being terrified. Your hands need to know the answer. You start to understand why the astronauts who've flown before look different. It's not confidence. It's a very specific kind of calm. The kind you develop when you've mentally died 100 times in a simulator and kept working anyway. Level 5. Mission Specialist in Orbit. Launch Day. You are lying on your back inside the Crew Dragon capsule. The Atlantic Ocean is somewhere below the launch pad. The countdown is real. You've heard it in training so many times it stopped feeling real. It's real now. The engines ignite, and you understand something immediately. No simulation prepared you for this. The violence of it, the sheer physical force pushing you into your seat, the noise, the vibration rattling through the capsule walls and into your spine and your jaw and your teeth. You watch the altitude numbers climb on the display in front of you. 50,000 feet, 100,000 feet. Then, silence. The engines cut. Main engine cut off. And you are weightless. You unstrap your hand to verify it's real, and it drifts upward on its own. You've been training for this moment for years. You still weren't ready for it. You dock with the ISS 16 hours later. When the hatch opens and you float through into the station, one of the resident crew members, a Russian cosmonaut who's been up there for 4 months, shakes your hand and says something in English for the first time in weeks. Welcome. Coffee is terrible. Everything else is amazing. He's right about both. Your job up here is everything. You run experiments, biology, physics, material science, combustion studies that can only be done in microgravity. You maintain systems. You troubleshoot equipment. You file daily reports. You exercise 2 hours every day because if you don't, your bones will lose density and your heart will weaken and your body will quietly forget it was ever built for Earth. You look out the cupola window one evening. The Terminator line, the boundary between day and night on Earth's surface, moves across the planet below you. A whole civilization in the dark. A whole civilization in the light. You can see both at once. You don't sleep much that night. Level 6. Extravehicular Activity Crew. The Spacewalk. A day. Extravehicular activity. The polite NASA term for stepping outside your spacecraft while traveling at 17,500 miles per hour with nothing between you and the vacuum of space except a suit. Suit up takes 3 hours. You breathe pure oxygen to purge nitrogen from your blood. Otherwise, the pressure change would cause decompression sickness, the bends, the same thing that kills deep-sea divers. You've done this in the pool 600 times. The airlock depressurizes. The outer hatch opens. You pull yourself through. And you stop. There is no pool. No safety divers below you. No bottom. There is the station behind you and the Earth below you, and 350 miles of nothing between you and it. You clip your tether to the rail. 1 tether. Your crewmate is beside you. You begin the task. A thermal sensor array has failed on the exterior of the station. You need to replace it. The repair sequence has 19 steps. Your gloves are pressurized. Your fingers are slow. You use tools designed for hands that can barely feel anything. You complete step 14 when a warning chirps in your helmet. Suit pressure fluctuation. A small one, within acceptable range. Mission Control's voice, Capcom, comes through calm and clear. Copy the reading. Continue the task. We're monitoring. You continue. You finish all 19 steps. The EVA lasts 7 hours and 42 minutes. When you get back inside and the pressure replenishes and you pull your helmet off, your crewmate looks at you and says nothing. just nods. That nod means more than any award ever will. Level 7, Pilot Astronaut. Second mission. You are no longer a rookie. You are assigned as pilot this time, not commander, but second in command. The right seat. The one who manages the spacecraft systems during critical phases while the commander focuses on flight. The pilot is the one who takes over if the commander can't. You understand what that sentence means. You train on the new Orion capsule, NASA's deep space vehicle, designed not for low Earth orbit, but for the moon, for the missions beyond. The training is different. Longer communication delays. You can't call mission control and get an answer in seconds. There is a delay. It grows the farther you go. At lunar distance, 2.6 seconds each way. At Mars, anywhere from 4 to 24 minutes. Out there, you are on your own. The psychological training intensifies. Isolation simulations, conflict resolution protocols, decision-making under exhaustion. NASA makes you stay awake for 36 hours and then asks you to solve complex engineering problems. They grade your answers. They're not trying to break you. They're trying to find out exactly where your limit is, so they can push it further. Level 8, Commander. Your name is at the top of the crew manifest. Commander. You are responsible for 4 human beings in one of the most hostile environments that has ever existed. The decisions stop being hypothetical. A crew member develops a tooth infection on day 40. It becomes an abscess. There is no dentist. You have a surgical kit and a medical protocol binder and a doctor on Earth who is 8 light seconds away. You make the call. You treat it yourself. The protocol, step by step. It works. But that night you lie in your sleeping bag strapped to the wall of the station and you think about every decision you made that day. Every one. Did you read the pressure drop correctly? Was the EVA schedule right? Should you have pushed the experiment timeline back? The weight of command is not the responsibility itself. It's the silence afterward. When everyone else is asleep, and it's just you and the hum of the life support systems and the planet turning slowly in the window. You chose this. You choose it again. But you understand now why commanders come back different. Level 9, Veteran Astronaut and Crew Trainer. You're back on Earth. 6 months in space, 2 missions, 1 EVA, 1 command. You walk out of the recovery vehicle in Florida and the gravity hits you like something personal. Your legs don't work correctly. 18 kilograms of muscle mass partially gone. It comes back over months of rehabilitation. Your vision has shifted. Fluid pressure changes in microgravity affect the optic nerve. Some astronauts need glasses after long-duration flights. Some deal with it for years. You don't talk about that part in the interviews. NASA assigns you as a crew trainer now. You sit across from a new class of astronaut candidates. 18 people, fresh faces, sharp eyes. You look at them and you see yourself 6 years ago. You teach them orbital mechanics, suit protocol, emergency procedures. You teach them Russian. And you teach them the thing no manual covers. How to keep going when the alarm sounds and your hands are shaking and everything in your body is screaming to stop. You teach them to move anyway, because that's what you did, and that's what they'll have to do too. Final level, the weight of the stars. Years later, someone asks you what it was like, a journalist, a student, a child at an air show holding a toy rocket. You always pause before you answer. Not because you don't know what to say, because you're deciding how much is true and how much is bearable. The truth is this: you went somewhere most humans will never go. You watched the sun rise 16 times in a single day. You floated in silence above a planet that had no idea you were watching. You fixed something broken 350 miles above the surface with gloves you could barely feel and a tether you tried not to look at. You made decisions in the dark that you will think about for the rest of your life. And when they ask if you'd do it again, you don't hesitate. Not because it wasn't terrifying, because it was. And because you learned something up there that no one can teach you down here. The universe is indifferent. The mission is what gives it meaning. You look at the child holding the toy rocket. You smile. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do, you tell them. Start anyway.